Hello, you're listening to another episode of Tyler Talks to Strangers, the podcast where I attempt to better understand the world around me by understanding those who inhabit it with me. Everyone has a story, but I just have so many questions. All right, sitting here for another episode of Tyler Talks to Strangers. Got this guy Liam on today. Should be a good
So,
show, and we'll just kind of go through it the way we always do it. If you had to describe your life story in roughly 2 to 3 minutes, the main bullet points, highlights of how you got to where you are today on a Zoom chat talking to me, how would you do it, sir?
um, so my name's Liam. I grew up on the East Coast. I was born and raised in New Jersey for the first 13 years of my life. Moved out all the way to the other side of the country, spent the next 10 years in California, kind of growing up, went to college out there, played a lot of soccer. I'm a big soccer player. And eventually just moved out on my own, bounced around a little bit. I went to Arizona to Colorado. I'm in Vegas now, so I've kind of been all over the place, and that's kind of just where I'm at right now.
Nice. Okay. Did you come from a long line of soccer players, parents, cousins, anything,
My
or?
my dad played. I played with my cousins too. My cousin still kind of plays. He's more into coaching now, which is something I want to get into at some point in the future. But yeah, so kind of yes and no.
Nice. You got the hair for soccer. I could see that,
Thank
like
you.
being in a little bun, and just running around.
Yeah. I get called David Luiz a lot, who's a famous
Uh,
Brazilian soccer player. So I get that a lot.
there's probably worse comparisons, right?
I
So,
mean, yeah, there
yeah.
are for sure.
Who's your favorite player? If you could just wake up and be any player, who would you want to wake up as?
Okay. My favorite player as a kid growing up was
Mhm.
Ronaldinho. That
Okay.
was like the first soccer jersey I ever got, and I was just like,
Nice.
man, this guy is just like crazy. And he was always smiling, and you could
Sure.
tell he was always just having like a great time. So
Hmm.
that's my favorite player.
Nice. Okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. And then extrapolating out your story, maybe the next 2 to 3 years, is there anything you're excited about on the horizon or life transitions you're looking forward to or anything coming up?
Um, Yeah, I mean, I'm a day trader currently, so kind of at the beginning of my journey, small fish right now, but looking to grow and scale that to the point where I can do it full time and make a living off of that. And then just kind of, once you have that unlocked, you can go wherever, as long as you have an internet connection, you can work. So that would kind of be the dream is just travel the world, day trade, and live life.
How come it's always day trading? How come there's no night trading? Does no one trade at night? Where did that phrase come from? I'm just
Okay.
thinking about it.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird because there's different market sessions.
Mm.
So the session that I trade starts at 6:30 a.m.
Oh, is
So
that because like New
that's
York time or something?
yeah,
Stock.
because it's New York time, but there's also a London session and like
Oh.
an Asian or Hong Kong session.
Okay.
So if you're trading like the Hong Kong session, that starts like at like what is it, like 3 a.m. here or something.
Okay.
And then London would be like I think it starts at like 5 p.m. So it's
Oh,
basically like a continuous cycle of just New York
chaos.
closes, London opens, London closes, Hong Kong opens, and then the whole thing rinse and repeats. Um, but I trade the New York session, so
Okay.
that's why I'm a day trader. But there are actually night traders.
Wow.
It's just yeah.
Like night
Specifically,
stalkers.
like if you want to get real specific, because I'm a nerd,
Right.
I'll talk about this for like hours. But specifically, day trading just refers to the holding period of how long you're holding a trade.
Oh,
So
okay. Oh, that makes more
yeah.
sense actually.
So
Yeah.
you could be a day trader or a swing trader. And
Yeah.
a day trader just means that you're holding it for like less than a full day. And
Okay.
then if you're swing trading, that could be like 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months or
Oh,
yeah.
swing trade. That's today I learned. TIL.
Yep.
I've learned that swing trade. I've never known that was a
Yep.
thing until right now.
That's the
So
thing.
that's
Yeah.
cool. You know what I learned yesterday? We just had daylight savings, which I hate. Every year I hate it. I just get confused, right? But I just learned China is on one time zone. What? How
China's only
big?
on one time zone.
Beijing time. That's it. Look it up. It's crazy. That whole country that should be like
Okay.
5 is just
Yeah.
Beijing time. So like if it's noon like on Eastern China, what? It's like 7 p.m. in Beijing. I don't know how that works, but The Communist Party of China is that's rad in a certain sense. That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
today I learned China
So
only
yeah,
has one time zone.
China has one
Okay,
time zone.
cool.
So
Yeah.
all right. Well, that's a good way to kind of bring in the show with some fun facts, a little bit of soccer, a little bit of day trading. We're gonna make some money here. He's probably doing trades right now as I'm talking. You
Nah,
probably have four screens open, huh? Is that what you do?
nah. I like to keep things simple.
Okay.
I don't like for charts and like, I
Right.
got all these flashing screens and alerts going off. I'm like, no, I trade one market for like 3 hours and then I'm done.
Okay. I respect it. You can't tell me you don't at least at one point, just one time, want to be in New York and just yelling crazy stock numbers and throwing paper. Like you have to want to do that.
Okay. That would honestly probably be kind of fun. Like,
That would be
yeah.
tight. I want to
Yeah.
do. I just want to shout
Yeah.
random words
Yeah.
at like 4 in the morning in New York and be like, "What is happening? How are people reading what I'm?" I don't get how any of that
I don't
works, but yeah. All right, buy GameStop. Don't do that. Yeah, okay.
know.
Getting into the real show here. The first question's a fun question.
Okay.
What movie? Well, I guess this is more like TV. So, what TV series do you rewatch or have you rewatched that it's that good for you?
Okay. I'm actually currently rewatching Breaking Bad,
Ooh, okay.
and that is just an A+ show. And it's probably more interesting the second time around because I'm watching it and I'm
Hmm.
just watching him build this gigantic billion-dollar business from the ground up. So it's super interesting from that
Okay.
perspective too. But Breaking Bad's an A+ show.
Oh my gosh, I totally need to get on that. I mean, it was probably like 4 seasons in by the time like I'd kind of gotten on my radar about how good this show was when I was in college.
Yeah.
And I kind of have a rule like if it's like more than I don't know 3 seasons in, I usually will not rewatch all of it. But I feel like
Okay.
I should have for Breaking Bad because it is that good. But I got to catch it early because I'm not a TV guy really at all. I'm more of a movie guy. But I
Okay.
respect that. Yeah, that's probably the one that I probably. How many total seasons are there? Do you know?
I think there's five.
Okay, that's actually
Yeah, I
not
think there's five
terrible.
seasons.
So I kind of just started late and I could have finished, but you might give me the reason to do it. Yeah. Did you take any high school or college chemistry classes?
I did. I wasn't actually really a huge fan of chemistry,
Okay.
but I did take chemistry in high school.
Okay. So you don't have any ambitions to pull off what he's
No,
doing.
I have no grand plans to become a meth kingpin.
Meth kingpin. All right, that's fair. In another life, after the day
Maybe,
trading, meth
maybe.
kingpin. It's a pretty good transition from
Yeah,
one to the
day trader
next.
by day, meth kingpin by night,
Look at it, swing trading. That's the real definition of swing. You're swinging from
Yeah.
cocaine to day trading. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. That's a good flow right there. Okay. Second random question is going to be what typical routines do you have? Let's say morning routine, evening routine. Is there anything you kind of always do every morning, every night?
I have a pretty easy morning routine. Usually wake up around 5:36. Uh, go put some coffee on, meditate for 10, 15 minutes, and then trade, and that's pretty much the morning routine.
Nice. That's pretty solid. I like that. What type of meditation do you do? Is it transcendental? Is it guided? Is it self? Anything?
Sometimes it's guided, sometimes it's just what is it? What do they call it? Like awareness? I
Okay.
forget there's like a
Body
more
awareness,
specific word.
body
Yeah, kind of
scan.
like that,
Yeah.
just kind of like being super present in the moment and kind of trying to avoid any stray thoughts. So
Mm.
that I have found helps ground me before I go to the markets and it's all crazy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's super important. Okay. How long has that been kind of in your life as a routine?
It's been on and off for a couple of years. I've been
Hmm.
pretty disciplined about it for the past maybe like 5, 6 months.
Okay.
Uh, but it's kind of been on and off for a couple of years before that.
Yeah, I try to be consistent. I do more of a guided like with the Calm app, every morning. So
Okay.
that's my usual flow. But yeah, I'd like to be better about even just totally self transcendental or whatever. I did a little bit of a meditation retreat like a year and a half ago. So I kind of need to get back into that Vipassana, sit quietly and just sit there and not even like do any kind of crazy breath work or anything and just kind
Yeah.
of recenter. But I definitely
Yeah.
respect people that have. There is something about people that have a meditation practice. They're different. in a good way, like
Yes. No,
some,
they
have you
they
noticed
are.
that?
No, I
Yeah.
have. I have my brother and my dad both meditate, and
Hmm.
like since they started, there's just like I don't really know how to describe it, but like they have a presence that wasn't
Yeah.
there before, and it's like it's really hard to kind of verbalize, but like
Yeah.
if you meet someone who's like really like good at meditating, like you'll know.
Yeah.
You know,
I
they just show up.
fully I think that's like the biggest green flag I look for in a relationship is like, do you meditate? Like, do you do anything to like take care of your own mental health? Like that's so
Yeah.
crucial in 2023, post COVID, pre-COVID, whatever. I mean, you got to be doing something to take care of the
Oh yeah,
craziness that
for
is
sure.
life. So I definitely look for that in a partner. Yeah, it's super
Yeah.
important. But cool. It's cool that you noticed that change in your own family too. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. And then first, would you rather question of the day. This one's going to be, would you rather age gracefully or stay young forever? And you could define young as whatever, right? Maybe in your 20s or 30s,
Ooh.
whatever that means to you.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Hmm.
Okay. I mean, I want to say age gracefully.
Okay.
Uh, I wouldn't want to stay young forever. I
Okay.
want to, kind of experience all that life has to offer, and I feel like you can't if
Hmm.
you were just young forever. So you
Right.
get a different perspective as you get older, I guess. So
Yes, that's a good point. What do you
yeah.
think you've kind of gained as you've gotten older yourself, even reflecting on when
Oh.
maybe when you were a teen or younger?
Um, that's a good question. I mean,
Hmm.
kind of the way I view the world, I guess, has changed a little bit. I
Hmm.
was, like you're kind of naive when you're like 16, 17, 18. You think you know everything.
Yeah.
And now I'm 24 and I'm like, I don't know anything. So
Right.
that has probably been the biggest change of like, oh, I know everything to
Yeah.
I know absolutely nothing.
Oh my gosh. But it's kind of liberating to have that secondary thought. There's so
Yeah.
much to learn. It's frightening, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
how has anyone gotten this far in life? How like as a species? Like there was a whole like TED talk about like it was how to make a toaster. And this guy like
Okay.
went on a quest to like remake a toaster like individually, right?
Uh,
And it's like no individual human, even a pencil, that's the other example I've heard. No
yeah.
no individual human knows how to you know, or iron or whatever from the ground to get and then shave the wood and put it like no one could
Yeah.
get to actually make a pencil. But like
Yeah.
as a society, like we just all create iPhones and it's insane.
Yeah.
So like
It's wild.
it's wild when you think
So,
about it. I really like that perspective though, of like individually, we're not the smartest species, like even, but together,
um,
like ants or spiders or whatever, like like
yeah.
there's a collective, I guess spiders not really, but like ants, there's like a definite hive and colony kind of intelligence.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
interesting. So um yeah, I think having that transition is super important. But okay, cool. Yeah, I wonder what other realizations you're going to come to and you're maybe 34 or
Yeah.
44, So
I'm excited. That's why I chose to age
I
gracefully.
like that. Yeah, the expansive. Okay, I
Yep.
like that. Good answer. Good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
take get the full experience of life. I respect
Yep.
that. Okay. Next one's going to be a COVID related question. It's going to
Okay.
be, what do you think is the best way to spend time in quarantine?
That's a tough one.
And you can't say day trading or slinging meth.
Well, that's funny because that's actually how I got started.
Oh,
But
you're a COVID
uh,
day
yeah,
trader. Okay.
that's actually how I got started because I was like, well, like I got to be at my house.
Yeah. Second best way I'll go with.
The best way to spend quarantine, I guess, and this is maybe a little cliche, but I would just say working on yourself,
Yeah.
you know, find out your weaknesses, make them less weak, find your
Hmm.
strengths, make them stronger, read books, meditate, work out, you know,
Damn.
just
Yeah.
just improve yourself.
That was a good set right there. How many of those did you think you checked off the list during COVID? Pretty much all of them, or not so much?
I okay, I definitely did some positive things during COVID
Okay.
and also kind of like just watched Netflix a lot too.
Sure, yeah,
So
it happens. It happens.
there was definitely some benefits and some drawbacks to me because like I said,
Hmm.
I learned day trading, which is now a skill that I'm trying to pursue professionally, and I
Yeah.
also like there was days when I would spend like 6 hours watching Netflix. So like
Okay.
yeah.
Breaking Bad's got it. It's not gonna
Yeah.
watch itself. Breaking Bad is not gonna watch itself. It's always there for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Dang. Okay. I was decent. I think I lucked out. I've always been a pretty fit guy or whatever, like prioritize that in my life. And then in 2021 I made a goal to do a triathlon and Ironman. So I never had that like, super drop off of fitness or COVID
yeah.
weight that I had to really get back to. But I think having that larger goal really helped, to kind of motivate me because I could definitely understand the COVID weight and just being totally out of whack and
Yeah,
gyms are closing. But I mean, I was fortunately able to still be running and biking outdoors and all that. So I
yeah,
kind of lucked out with just the timing of when I wanted to do it. But yeah, a lot of people, yeah, it can go either way. You can kind of
yep,
totally fall off the wagon and drop out, or you can kind of ramp it up. And so it's interesting to see, what happens, and everyone's life circumstances are different. But
yeah,
yeah, it's good that you kind of have that mindset of, take this time to improve. I think that was a big push for a lot of people. There was a little bit of backlash to that like sentiment. I think I remember like
yeah,
at one point in 2020, it's like the world's ending, like whatever, like you don't it was like don't feel guilty about not being productive every second of COVID to like get an extra online degree and like learn
yeah.
10 skills. There's a kind of a push of like everyone chill out. It's kind of fine, that you haven't learned two languages since COVID, like that's okay. So I did remember a little bit of that pushback in the media, whatever, just from some bloggers or whoever. But I think the general sentiment was that this is a time to reset, and like a lot of people took it as I'm gonna level up my life somehow,
Yeah,
which is exactly what you said, which I fully support. But then, yeah, it kind of falls back into the like, don't stress yourself out. Like, I mean, the whole point of COVID, I think, as a good thing of COVID was like a reset to like realize, oh, am I doing
yeah,
what I want? Am I on the right path in life? Or being with family? Am I
yeah,
spending enough time there? So um yeah, not getting lost in that bigger picture too. But
yep.
cool. Next one is going to be our first deep question of the interview. It's going to be, what are you running from in life right now? Is there anything you're really avoiding that you should not be running from?
Um, I mean, I guess just like maybe not necessarily running from, but kind of avoiding,
Hmm.
just like making new friends.
Okay.
Like I kind of lost like all my friends after COVID, and
Right.
like I just have had problems with like everybody that I've kind of tried to be friends with since then. And so I'm just like, you know what? Like I don't care anymore. So I'll just I'll
Right.
just I'll just do my thing. And if people are supposed to be in my life, then they'll be in my life. And if they're not, then they won't. Because yeah, so I would probably say that.
That's pretty solid. I understand that sentiment. Yeah, like your real friends are gonna be your real friends. Like no matter what, like no matter how much you change or grow old or like whatever, like your real homies are just lifelong people, right? So they'll always kind of
Yeah,
be in your life. But there's
exactly.
a lot of like secondary characters that it's okay if they drop off. Like I've been sometimes holding on to that a little bit too much with some acquaintances, and it's like, you know what? Like
Yeah,
whatever, maybe we don't vibe and it's cool. Like I don't need to be best friends with everybody, or like you can't please everybody, right? So
exactly.
that's kind of a big lesson I've had to learn. It's definitely hard. I mean, all the statistics show like males in their 20s and 30s, whatever, like the amount of close friends they actually have is like one or two, like it's not
That sounds
very
about
many.
accurate.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
after college, it just that's the whole trope. It's like it's really hard
Yep.
to make friends as an adult. So and I've kind of bounced around cities. I grew up in LA, and then I
Yeah.
went to Colorado for undergrad and San Diego for grad school, and then worked in LA again, and then Northern California and Redding, and now I'm in Tacoma, Washington. So I've had to reinvent myself in new cities and go
Yep.
to meetup groups and join rock climbing gyms and camping trips and do it as best I can, but it's a little exhausting every time to kind of restart over. So I'm
No, it
hoping to
is.
get some stability now. But yeah.
Yeah, me too. I moved a lot the past couple of
I,
years.
I know it sounds like you have bounced around a lot. I forget where are you currently after all that?
I am currently in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a decent. I know there's a lot of rock climbers out in Vegas, so if that's something you're interested in, I would look for like meetup groups or something, or indoor volleyball or whatever sport, indoor soccer, soccer. I mean, that's the big thing for you. So,
yeah,
usually some kind of rec league has a lot of good, like, interesting
yeah.
personalities.
I've been looking for that. I went to this pickup place a couple times and the vibe was just not it. So I'm
Okay.
not going back. But there's
Yeah.
other places I can look into. There's like a
Yeah.
jujitsu place I'm looking into. So,
Very cool.
there's places you can meet people.
Right.
I'm just not, I guess, trying to force it anymore.
Good point. Yeah, you don't want to go so hard the other way, but I think yeah, there's a couple jujitsu like MMA places near me. I'm gonna make that my
Mhm.
goal, like April, quarter two, whatever, April, March, or April, June, July kind of thing. So I'm gonna look into that. That'd be cool. I used to wrestle in high school, so I think having
Okay.
that kind of one-on-one sports kind of cool as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, definitely understand that struggle and not to force it or anything to make sense. So it happens when it happens, but yeah, your real best friends. I think I kind of institute like a weekly call with some of my really best friends from back in LA, and just that little like catch up, 30-minute phone call makes all the difference. So
Yeah.
yeah, with your
Yeah.
real friends, that's a good way to kind of do it when you're traveling or out of town or whatever. So only tips there. All right. Fun question. Back at the fun.
Fun
What is
questions.
your favorite form of cardio? If you walked into a gym and there was only one cardio equipment, machine, stair stepper, treadmill, anything, skier, row, what would you choose, sir?
Okay. This goes back to my days playing soccer in college because I used to do this a lot.
Okay.
You take a treadmill, you put it on 11% incline and 11 miles per hour, and then you do 20 seconds on and 40 seconds off.
Wow.
That is so intense.
Oh, I'm
If
writing
you
this
can
down. I'm writing this
if you
down.
can just do like 10 sets of that, like, oh, your endurance is gonna go through the roof. I worked my way up to like, I think it was like 17 sets, and then I
Oh,
increased the speed to 12 miles per hour, and then I went back down to like 9 sets.
I'm
So
writing this
like,
down, sir. I'm all for fitness challenges. You have no
very
idea.
intense, very
11%
intense.
incline at
Yep.
11 miles per hour. Okay.
Yep. 20 seconds
Treadmill.
work, 40 seconds rest, and that 40 seconds goes quick, man.
Okay. Right. 20 work. Oh my gosh. I'll update the podcast if I attempt this workout. Your record is 17 times.
I think it was 17 sets.
Seth. Yeah.
So yeah.
17 minutes of that, dude. That's wow.
Oh, it's
That's
yeah,
brutal.
yeah.
I kind
You're
of
gonna you're
recently
gonna be yeah.
go for it. Sorry.
I was gonna say you get like 3 sets in, you start resting, you're like, oh, it's been like 10 seconds. You check the clock, you're like, oh my God, it's been 35 seconds.
Yeah.
I have to run
Who's
again.
changing? Is it daylight savings every time I'm on a treadmill? What's
Yeah,
happening? Who's changing
yeah,
these hours? Yeah.
yep.
Man, I recently started getting into like backwards running on treadmills. And it's
Interesting.
awesome just because like
Okay.
people at the gym are like, what is this like group doing or whatever? But because I'm kind of like rehabbing a knee injury, like patellar
Okay.
tendon issue that I
Yeah,
hurt
yeah.
box jumping and falling. And it's really good for like eccentric training of the quad muscle. And so I'll
Mhm.
be on a treadmill backwards. It's like a 5 or so incline, just like 5 miles per hour, not like
Mhm.
very fast at all, but doing that even for like 30 to a minute is really difficult because your body is just like not used to that position
Yeah.
at all. And then it's a really intense muscular burn. So yeah, if you're looking for a challenge, try backwards
I
treadmill
will
running. Yeah, at an incline. It's
will try
very
running
random,
backwards on a treadmill. Yeah.
but it's fun to get the looks from people too. I like
I would imagine because if I saw somebody doing that at the gym, I would definitely give them a look.
I would unplug the treadmill at this point. I would say, I'm doing you a favor, sir.
Yeah.
I'm doing you a favor. No, but I love like there's a whole like YouTube channel. This one guy, Matt Dawes, I think, or Dawes something, and he would just walk around college campuses and like do hilarious, like random like social experiments, like standing backwards in an elevator and like seeing what other people would do, like just like random stuff like that. Or one of my favorite videos that he ever did was eating donuts and like French fries at a gym. So like he'd be like on a bike and he's just like downing ice cream, and the people next to him are like, "What is this guy doing?" It's just the funniest,
Friends.
like hilarious, like YouTube idea. So if anyone out there wants to just break people's like routines, right? Just like do something very odd, or kind of the birth of this podcast too. Like a lot of the questions I have in the fun absurd category is like, what's your opinion of the color orange? Like most people don't ever get that, like, and they've never thought about it, and then they have to
Yeah.
think about the answer, and it's like a fun random, like, how many times have you been asked that? Probably never.
Bro, I've
um
never been asked that,
you've
so
never. Okay, let's go for it. What is your opinion? What's the first thing you think of when you think the color orange?
right.
Right, okay.
Uh, it's not quite as aggressive as like red.
Ooh, red is aggressive to you. Yeah, that's probably for most people.
Red is a little aggressive, yeah.
Yeah, there should be a
It's
ranking of colors on aggressiveness, not like favorites, but just sheer aggression.
I feel like
Yeah.
red has to be at the top
It's
though.
got to be. What could be more aggressive than red? Like it's got to be red or maroon or blood or violent. It's something as
Yeah, I
far as
mean,
that.
red is like, the Spartans had red capes and red
Right.
plumes on their helmets, so
Hmm.
it's the color of war, and it doesn't really get more aggressive than that.
Yeah, there was some study about that with it was high school or college, like mascots and colors, right? And like
Um,
teams that have black and red tend to win and like perform better than teams that are in like more less intimidating colors, I guess. But
that's
there is something
interesting.
about the color red with
Yeah,
like your stats at the end of a year being improved or something, like win
yeah,
percentage. So
that's kind of interesting.
I should pull that up. So there is something to that. Yeah, aggression, Aztecs, and who knows. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and then the least aggressive has got to be like, oh, like baby blue or
baby blue.
seafoam
Yes.
seafoam green. What is seafoam green? I don't know, but I want to find out because I love when people say seafoam green. I was like,
Yeah.
what is that? Yeah, there's like another one I learned at trivia night like 2 weeks ago. Oh my gosh. It was some yellow green mixture, and I did not get that answer right. So
Chartreuse or something.
chartreuse, that was
Yeah.
it, brother. How did you know
Yeah.
that? That's
Blue's Clues.
blue. You still remember Blue's Clues? Oh my.
Yep.
Wow, I'm 31 and I remember watching that. You're 24.
Yep.
You must have been on the tail end of Blue's Clues, or you rewatched it.
I remember when Steve left and they replaced him with Joe.
Okay. I don't remember. Was there beef between those dudes or what happened there?
I actually don't remember. I think Steve left to like go to college or something. I don't know if that
Okay.
was just for the show or like the
Good for
actor actually
Steve.
wanted to like go to college. I
I
don't
hope,
know if there was beef. I was kind of young. I don't really remember.
yeah. I hope Steve's still in college. I hope he's like trying to get like 5 PhDs at this point and he's just like,
Honestly, he's got a PhD in like thermodynamics or something
right,
crazy.
right. Blue's Cluesology or something
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. Okay, dude, chartreuse.
Yeah.
Nice call, dude. That's amazing.
Thank
That
you.
was I did not. You're on my trivia team from
Shout
now
out to
on.
Blue's Clues, man.
Shout out to Blue's Clues. We had some
Good
good
show.
ones.
Quality
Oh
show.
my God, what else did I watch? Do you remember this one, Brother Bear? There was some bear show.
I remember
Yeah, I'd have to look that up.
remember
I think it was called Brother Bear. And
Franklin was a
Franklin,
turtle. Yeah.
turtles are fire. Clifford, Red Dog, fire.
Clifford. Yeah. I very vaguely remember something with Little Bear. That's what I
That's what
watched.
it was. I think I
Little
was thinking
Bear.
of Little Bear,
Yes.
not Big Bear, Brother Bear, Little Bear.
Yeah.
Oh
I
shoot.
think Brother Bear's a movie.
That might be a
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. But I remembered
Okay.
Little Bear
I'm
for
gonna Google
sure.
that after this. Little Bear. Yeah. Shout out to the adults that made children's stuff. Those are fully grown adults making
Yeah.
children's stuff. I respect
Yeah.
that because now I got mad memories based on that.
Yeah.
So that's really
Just
cool.
bring the nostalgia in, man. It's
Straight
good
up.
times. Brings me
Good.
back.
Yes, bring me back. See, maybe you don't want to age gracefully. Maybe you always want to be 7 years old.
I just want to be seven and like just watch Blue's Clues.
Life was
Yeah.
simpler. Life was pretty
Honestly,
simple.
it's kind of funny that like you're a kid and you can't wait to grow up, and then you grow up and you're like, oh wow, I wish I was a kid again.
Mhm.
So much
Yes.
simpler.
I know. We don't realize that until we get older. And my life is still way simpler than it's ever going to be because I don't have kids, not
Yep,
married, nothing
yep,
crazy. So like
yep,
it's only more complex. It's like I don't know. So we'll
yeah.
see how it goes.
I
But
kind of measure that by how complicated my taxes are.
ooh, does day trading make everything kind of crazy? Because there's like a tax every time you what is it called again? Capital gains
Yeah,
tax or
capital
something?
gains tax.
Every
Yeah.
time you
So
make a
you
trade.
have you
Yeah.
have short-term capital gains and then you have long-term capital gains.
Mm,
So it gets complicated. It hasn't been too bad for me yet,
okay.
but like I said, I'm still kind of in the beginning phase. So,
Right.
it probably gets a lot worse as I grow in scale.
Yeah. I know there's
But
something also called tax loss harvesting if you like lose a bunch of
yes.
money. So that's a
Well,
whole rabbit hole I don't know about. But yeah, I heard that term. I'm like, wow, there's so
well,
much to this.
like I said, I can talk about this stuff all day, but
Right.
that
I
is
know.
kind of a rabbit hole to go down.
That is, yeah. Well, I just saw we have 8 minutes and 26 seconds left in the show. So
Okay.
we'll do tax loss harvesting another time.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah, I don't know if that's worth the 8 minutes of the podcast, but
It's okay.
pretty good so far. Let's keep rolling. COVID question. What is your first memory of COVID when the world was shutting down? What was your like
I
whatever?
was actually at college
Okay.
and I distinctly remember some of my classmates like freaking out because there had been one case in the county and
Mm,
they were like literally like this is the end of the world and I was like there's one case.
right,
You
right.
guys need to relax. So that's probably like my earliest memory.
Yeah. I was in the same boat. I was like, this is the flu, guys. It's just
Yeah.
media hype. We're gonna be fine. And then like
Okay.
literally everything changed. I was like, I was
Yeah. I
wrong.
was like,
I was
oh,
very wrong.
okay, this is okay.
Yeah. This is real. This is like a video game slash Hollywood movie right now. Yeah.
That is actually like a good premise for a video game, though.
Yeah, I think
Global
so.
pandemic, everything shuts down. Are you the only survival? Go find out, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm. I'm
Mm-hmm.
rewatching or not rewatching, but I'm watching Last of Us, and it's about more like a
Okay.
fungal outbreak. It's kind of like Walking Dead, but like Craig Mazin, the guy that directs, is like on
Mm,
a whole nother level. He did
mm.
Chernobyl as well, so his storytelling is a lot better than Walking Dead, I think. But it's
Okay.
kind of the same idea. But it was a
Okay.
video game as well, so now it's
Yeah.
adapted to a TV series. So
Cool.
that's been pretty good. But yeah, very of the time. Very of the time
Yeah.
with COVID,
Yeah.
so understandable. But cool. Let's kind of always I always kind of wrap up with this question, but let's end with it. I think it's another good one for you. If you were in my seat right now, you had your own podcast called Liam Talks to Whoever. What would you ask about your fellow human? What would you want to know about a stranger if you could ask any question in the world?
Oh, I'm gonna go kind of deep on this, and I would
I like
ask,
it.
what is your biggest regret in your life this far?
The regret question. That's a classic, instant classic to cut
Classic.
the BS and get to the
Yep.
meaningful stuff. Biggest regret, man. Oh man. I think I really wish I'm working for the military now as a civilian contractor, but I really wish I could have got grad school paid for if I just went into the military to do that whole thing. So
Okay.
I don't know. I think applying to Army Baylor's PT program as a physical therapist would have been something I probably could have got into, and then it would have set me up financially way better.
Yeah.
Don't have much debt now because I was lucky, fortunately, but I would be like literally like 5 years ahead of the curve right now. So because
Yeah.
you get paid in grad school when you're in the military. So that would have been something I was like, dude, why didn't I just apply to that? So
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm working like I got a pretty dream job right now, and I'm working for the military and everything I want to be doing. So it kind of worked out, but that a little bit, it would just set me up a little bit because I'm like 31, right? And like
Yeah. Hmm.
all my friends got out of college at 22, 23, and then they
Hmm.
started their careers. And I was like
Hmm.
in school for 7 years, whatever, like
Yeah.
including undergrad. So 3 years of grad school. So like I just started so late. So I wish I kind of would have been a little earlier, I guess, on the jump. But That's a big regret. Who knows? But I also have more freedom, so that's kind of nice. And
Yeah,
then
that's true.
maybe I don't know. That's the biggest one. I think I could have been more outgoing when I was in college and stuff, dating and pursuing relationships rather than just academics and sports. Maybe
Yeah.
having the balance there. Those are kind of my quick ones. Anything that comes to mind for you?
Um, Actually, something I thought of pretty recently in the past couple of weeks. I
Mm,
spent like 10 years going back to high school, kind of learning how to like invest money and how it grows
mm-hmm.
and, all of that. And then very recently, I realized that I know how to invest money and I have no idea how to make money. So
Right.
I feel like I did that backwards, and
Yeah.
I wish that I had learned how to make money first before I learned how to
Oh,
invest money.
interesting. Yeah, that is interesting how you, you stumble upon that, I guess. I
Yeah.
think it's a useful skill. Most people don't really know that second part of the equation too. So,
Yeah.
it's good to figure it out at some point. Now you're
It is,
backtracking a little bit, but
you know, still young. I still got time, but I
yeah,
also know if I had spent the past 10 years learning,
yeah,
for example, how to day trade, I'd be a lot further ahead than I currently am. So,
right. Well, I do know one good way to make money. I'm not going to say it's the most legal and above board way, but you can sling meth at night as the night trader,
you know,
Just
now
think
that you
of,
mention it,
right?
I do have some free time in the evenings.
That's right. Think about it. Day trading in the day, slinging meth at night.
You
Think
know?
about it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Here for the ideas. I'm the ideas man. Cool. I think we'll wrap the podcast up there. Any final questions, concerns, comments, things you want to drop for the listeners?
Nope. Uh, Pretty good over here.
Sweet, brother. Well, appreciate the time for talking to me today.
Of course.
To everybody out there listening, I thank you for your support. This is Tyler telling you to go talk to a stranger. Peace.